Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Grace Note interview. Today, I'm joined by a lovely colleague and former client of mine, Danielle Rosa, who is with us and joining us from Toronto, Canada. Danielle, it's lovely to have you here today.
It's so wonderful to be here with you, Grace. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. Danielle and I go way back, ladies, and I really wanted to introduce her to you because Danielle and I have not only spent time together in coaching academies and courses around the world from Los Angeles to Sydney, but we've also coached together one-on-one. Danielle attended an intensive with me in Los Angeles. I recall it was in the Beverly Hills Hotel. And she came to Italy to one of the very first retreats I held at the world famous Borgo Ignazia Hotel. Danielle is someone who really gravitates towards style and design and beauty. And more than anything, I have watched this woman take her desire for a more beautiful life to a whole other level, where other people got coaching and kind of nothing with it. Danielle, someone who ran with it and really started to embody it in her life. And she went on to find a way that was very much in alignment with her. And really, she's coming out today more and more as I witness her with her message and her teaching and her understanding of what it means to live life by design. So that is one of the core reasons I have Danielle with us here today. So Danielle, you're so welcome. And I know we're going to get into a deeper conversation today, but I feel like a proud mama coach in this way. I hope you don't mind.
No, we're all in this together, and by all means, I do the same. So it's wonderful to be here.
Yes, so let's talk a little bit to begin with, Danielle, because you and I have been having some conversations recently about the whole thing around resistance versus alignment.
Mm.
I would love to start with that because I noticed recently in my own life that I was having resistance to finding the ideal home for me. And that's one of the conversations we had initially,
Yep.
finding this right home and feeling dissatisfied, feeling out of alignment with the current home. And you gave
hmm
me such wise words of inspiration. I just want you to talk a little now with us about, like, tell us a bit about what you see around resistance versus alignment, especially when it comes to manifesting what you want.
Well, a great topic to start off on because we are all where we are. We can't be other than where we are. And it's always evolving. So what we don't really get as a human person or human being, or what we've forgotten, I should say, is that we're constantly fine tuning what we do and what we like and what we desire. And everything that we are is a manifestation. So when we talk about like manifestations, a lot of us think, oh, it's a house and it's the big things, it's the pile of money and it's the lover, it's the empire. But we are a manifestation as a whole, in a sense of as our feelings, as our thoughts, of everything, basically down into the physical. And so when we get trapped in that end result, what we're focusing on, we get lost in how we're going to do it. And we kind of rely on the outside world to kind of lead us to these results that we are wanting. So we take advice from other people on how we did it, or we believe that we have to suffer, or we believe that we need X amount of money to get there. And it really is an internal emotional journey to the end result. And so that's the gap that I feel so personally linked to, because I've been doing it since I was young and I never really knew what I was doing. And so when I went through this journey in being in the coach world after, you know, design and feng shui and all of this amazing personal journey into what I love and what I wanted to do, it really linked me back to what I've always known. And I believe everyone has this well, we all have it inside of us, but it's whether we're really familiar with it, and it's really what we're doing with our mind that will link us between where we are now to where we want to be. And that is the quickest, easiest, most fulfilling and enjoyable way to do that, when you have this relationship with yourself and this confidence and clarity that is within all of us, that really closes that gap quickly and more enjoyably. And so when someone is in a place that they don't want to be in, that is one, the realization that doesn't allow you to go forward. And two, it also helps you to realize what you want more of. So it is all a balancing act of understanding that where you are is exactly where you need to be to move forward. And the question is now, how do we move forward in a more aligning, enjoyable, I should say, way to get where you want to be, but not allow it to hinder your joy factor now, because that is where the juice is. That's where your power, your clarity, everything is that joy right now. And so when you're stuck in that mentality or that focus, it's really about softening that. And it's about redirecting the focus where you are, because you need to be where you are, towards where you're going.
Mm-hmm. So I'm taken back to a moment on our retreat a number of years ago when you got that absolute clarity of wanting to spend more time in Italy than just a few days, and that absolute knowing within you. And you then went on to spend, I understand, like a number of months or a couple of years in Italy, and you manifested that experience for yourself. So can you tell us in the audience a little bit about, you know, how do we go from having that desire like you had to actually aligning with it? If you had to give us one or two or even three tips and steps to aligning to it and bringing it into full manifestation.
I would say just take it as a daily step, because I knew I wanted that, but it kind of unfolded more and more every day. And so I had this bigger picture, of course, to be in Italy, to live there one day, to be with someone there that was meaningful to me. But I had no idea, you know, when we were talking about that retreat, that it was going to ever lead to more and me living there for 2.5 years. And so what I did was just basically focus one thing at a time, which was, how do I come to this retreat? You know, I knew I loved Italy. I knew it was the right time for me to do it. And how was I going to get the means, which was the money? It was no problem for me to leave the country, but how was I going to get the cash to do it? And so I used, you know, the focus of what is it that I want? And I just really, I loved your post the other day too, because of how you said, slow down to the vibration of love, or the essence of love.
The speed of love.
And the state of love. And I really feel that when I get hyped up about something, there is a lot of energy going on, but there's a lot of resistant thought too. And so you have these desired thoughts and then you have these resistant thoughts. But the only way that I knew how to really take the next step, and allow that money to come to me, to be realized by me, was just to like breathe in it and feel my way through it, you know. And it was just, when you really expand where you are right now in any moment, and you really calm yourself down to really what feels better, it leads you to the next available step. And I believe it was like, I don't even know, it was like doing my taxes, you know, and from there it led to, like, you know, my credit card limit being increased. It was literally like back to back. Or, you know, me booking the airplane, you know, because I was like, I'm gonna go, but although I have these doubts that how am I gonna do it. And so it was more about feeling my way rather than an action thing, because the actions were then inspired through the feeling. And so when I really just calmed down with it, and that was a lot of, you know, one-on-one time with me. Like, I didn't really distract myself with the outside world. Like, I really just focused on what I wanted. And that has a lot to do with everything. You know, your mind is going to want to explore and delve into ideas and thoughts. But when you can really tame your focus on one thing, and do that in a way that feels good to you without anyone distracting you, then it kind of just showed itself to me. And so that was my process. I got out of the way of everyone else that was going on around me. I took a lot of spare time for myself to focus on what was to do, like what I needed to do next. And I really felt I really made feeling good an important thing for me. And it just kind of paved its way. It just showed itself to me. So,
yeah, I mean, that's a simple process right there. You know, that's like,
yeah.
It sounds like a personal process, but it sounds like it lends itself universally to people, you know. So what about, like, how do we know when we're in resistance, Danielle? Like, for some of the listeners that don't really know what that is, like, I mean, how do you share that with your clients? How do you know when they're in resistance?
Well, you feel it. You feel tense. You feel your mind is going like 1,000 miles a minute. You are all over the place with your emotions. You love this, but you hate that. You hear yourself. So one of two things: you feel it, and you see what's manifesting in front of you. Like, it's either chaos or it's things that you really don't want. And so the quickest way is to catch it is when you don't feel good. And so you know what you're doing with your focus and your energy. And then the manifestations that occur when you're in resistance is ones that you don't want. And so that's when, you know, the energy goes long enough, and the universe has to give you what you've been vibrating at. So that's how you know, is the instant not feeling well, uneasiness, tired, stressed, irritation, anger. I mean, and those are just about the different scale of emotions. Like, when you're in depression, that's the lowest. When you're in anger, you're higher above the emotional scale, you know, closer to love. And so it's really about knowing what feels better and knowing where you're at emotionally. And that's why emotions are a huge aspect in what I focus on, because no one knows how you feel except for you, and you feel that instantly within you. And meditation enhances that. And so that's why I always say, like, I never want to force anyone. This is not about forcing anyone to do anything, but meditation is the one tool that really enhances your emotions and enhances your sensitivity to what you're doing, and really enhances that feeling when you're off. So there's no more being blindsided. by what's coming next, you know?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. So the next question that sort of is staring in me,
Mm-hmm.
there was a couple coming in there, but I'm looking
Okay.
for the one that lands. Um, Something about, you know, oh, that's it. Okay. So it sounds to me like this direction, which is very much in alignment with the direction that I love to take clients in, right? This is why I'm very happy to share so much of your wisdom around this. There's so, like, this is such universal truth.
Mm-hmm.
The piece that's a little different, at least it looks different or sounds different to me, is the sense of responsibility or guilt one might get into when one is thinking, oh God, these manifestations are my fault. Oh dear. Oh, my vibration is off. Oh no, I'm not in alignment. I see that that can happen for people when there's this great hopefulness that we can manifest what we want. But on the other side of that, this possibility of, oh shit, what am I doing wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love you to speak to that, Danielle, because I'm still, as you can hear, trying to understand that a bit better from your world.
Sure.
So tell me a bit about what you see there.
Well, as a natural teacher and a natural uplifter, which we all are here to do, I mean, there is nothing else we all thrive in than to love another and to see other people doing well, because it's what feels good. And so we innately know that we are natural uplifters, and we are naturally good feeling beings. We're supposed to feel good. It's our natural state. And so when we don't feel that, we're really, we take responsibility, because we innately know that we are in charge of our own reality. And so that's just the desire of you wanting to be better. But also being too hard on yourself and knowing that you should be it in, 24 hours. It's impossible. It's a progressive thing. We're constantly getting better. And so it's like a good analogy is when you see a baby trying to walk, you don't, and it falls, constantly because it's learning steps. You don't say, oh, what an idiot, like, how can you not walk in one day? You understand it's a progressive skill. Mm-hmm. And so when you go to the gym, you're not fit the next day. It's a progressive skill that you enjoy the process. Well, you should enjoy the process of, because that's what's going to make the whole process that much more beneficial. And so when you, as a natural teacher or a natural uplifter and a natural good feeling being, want to become a master in your own life, you're hard on yourself, because you see maybe other people in their mastery, but you don't realize that it's a progressive state of being. You have to get better and better and better at it. And so when you think about yourself 5 years ago, you're much better than you were 5 years ago. It's just an understanding that this is not going to be perfect overnight. And this is about you maintaining your emotional balance, because one of my favorite teachers, as you know, Abraham Hicks, always says, alignment is not like a college degree. You don't just achieve alignment and stay there. You constantly have to maintain it, because we are constantly expanding. And so if we were not expanding and we weren't in the contrast of our life asking for more in every subject that matters to us, how would we be able to be in alignment 24/7 when we're here to expand? So if that helps link. One is you innately know that you should be feeling good, you know, and it sucks when you don't. And two, that it is a progressive state and it's a constant balancing act. Then you kind of then understand that, oh, okay, I don't have to get this right away, and I don't have to feel 100% right now. All I have to do is just feel a little bit better. And when you understand that it is an attraction-based universe, that's a big thing. You understand then what you're focusing on is how you're feeling in your now. And so you're in complete control of how you're feeling, and you're in complete control as to what you're attracting. But it is, it's an understanding one, and it's a feeling your way to that calmness. There is no rule book, and there is no black and white, list of what everyone should do. That's why everyone is different. And that's the beauty of it, because we all add to this diversity and variety of this universe, but we all have to find that balance within ourselves and use the experiences that we've already had to really find that within ourselves. So it really is an inner world exploration, or a remembering of what you've always done. You've always been doing it. It's just, it's not common for people to say, you know, pay attention to your emotions, or there's nothing more important than feeling good right now. And that feeling good will lead you to more feeling good. And if you can only focus on feeling good, which is a constant awareness of, you know, yourself in your everyday life and what you're doing, then you're able to maintain that. But it is a beautiful question, because when you ask that question, you're on the path to wanting to refine that focus, and you're wanting to soothe the way for yourself. So it's all perfect. It's all a perfect question. It's all a perfect unfolding for you to know that, okay, this is about me, and this is about finding ways to focus that feel better to me, you know.
That's awesome. I mean, I liken it to, as I talk to my client base, about going up the elevator of consciousness. And as we go up there, I sort of use the analogy of the Empire State Building. So the further up the Empire State Building you go, the better your view of the city. So you don't see blockages, you don't see other buildings. Now you can see Central Park, now you can see the Chrysler Building, now you can see the blue sky. So from up in those higher floors, I have seen that that's where we naturally live, in a feeling of feel good and well-being, where our focus is naturally back in our innate well-being. And throughout the day, we'll find that the elevator drops, it goes down to floor 2 and it goes back up to floor 100, and it, like the elevator, up and down. And on those lower floors, we're just experiencing what looks like more blockages, more obstacles. So what I hear and what you're sharing, Danielle, is helpful as a reminder, being that, you know, we're human, we're going to go up and down. You know, we're not going to literally reach alignment and stay there for the rest of our lives. You know, just like we're not going to go up the elevator of consciousness and just stay up there the whole time.
Yes.
So I love that there's this, you're probably the first expert to answer that with simplicity that the audience can also understand, and that I personally can understand from a perspective of consciousness. My next question for you is around flow.
I'd like to add something, Grace, though, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So the higher you go in your consciousness, like you say, through the elevator, the easier it does get to pinpoint it. And it's not such a big drop. And
Yes.
so that's the one thing too, is you'll find when you're around certain people or certain areas that no longer serve you, that will get you to drop really low. And so it's not anybody's fault, but it's more of you understanding on what focus or what area of focus will maintain that level more swiftly. You're not supposed to stay up in alignment 24/7, but you can stay there most of the time.
Yeah.
And you don't have to drop. You don't have to drop that low. And if you do drop, it's okay. You can get right back up there. But I think there needs to be an understanding that, you know, once things get better for you, it'll just become easier to maintain that alignment, and you won't be dropping 100 floors.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for clearing the difference. I mean,
Sure.
it's I'm understanding it in the same way. And what I say to my client base all the time is when you do drop, which is inevitable because you can't stay there 24 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
you feel it so intensely because you're living at higher floors most of the time. And so when you drop down to floor two, or as you're saying, when you're dropping out of alignment, you feel it. Like you feel like you're it's almost like you're sensitive to it more than you realized you were.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Yeah.
but so that's a really good pointer though, Danielle. What about, there's a lot of people out there will ask me this question as well. So from your side, what's your take on, um, what we might describe as people getting on our nerves, people bringing us down? I hear this from my clients a lot. Oh, my partner is bringing me down on this, and they're not interested in growth. What do you say to that, which you just touched on, which was about people and situations kind of
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you feel the
Well,
drop?
everyone is creating their own experience, and everyone is a mixed bag. So you can't really allow your focus to be on what anyone else is doing to allow you to feel good. And so that is a beautiful reminder, in a sense of, okay, this person is not reacting the way that pleases me or feels good to me. One, I'm being a conditional lover, essentially. Like I'm wanting them to be a certain way for me to be able to feel good
Mm-hmm.
about them and about myself, and to mind my own business. What am I doing with my focus and my vibration that's allowing me to be so interested in someone else and what they're doing or how they feel about whatever I'm doing? That's the beauty of this journey and this law of attraction, is that the universe will not buckle to any expectation of, oh, because you're a good feeling being, you just deserve it. You deserve good feeling people around you, even though you're not vibrating at a rate that allows it to come to you. And so it's fair. It's a fair law that will not really buckle, in the sense of, I'm just going to give you, like, a day off today. No, it's always on. And so when you understand that it's always responding to you, the mic is always on, you are literally always on,
Mm-hmm.
that you have that vibration, you have that same essence of energy going on within you, for that to be able to be in your environment. It's just how it is. So one, mind your own business. That's ideal.
Mm-hmm.
But two, appreciate it and thank it for showing you what you've got going on within your realm of vibration. And 3, you can't change them anyways. You can only change how you feel. And so take it for what it is. Take it for the sign that it's giving you, that something is screwy going on within you that's obviously attracted that. And release yourself from the situation, or accept it for what it is. I mean, you don't have to create like an argument or a big upheaval about it, but this is the journey of self-discovery, and being consciously aware of yourself all the time. It's not just sometimes.
Yeah.
You can't be in this this game of life and not appreciate what's coming at you. And it's not really coming at you. It may feel like assertion, but it is always attraction. And so when you say to yourself, this is attraction, like something's going on within me, you're softer on them. And that it peters out very quickly when you're not fighting it, because essentially you're fighting yourself, you know?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, like they're just being the cooperative component, you know, they're just being that beautiful reminder saying, listen, I don't even know how this is affecting you right now, but I'm just showing you what you've got going on in your vibration, essentially.
Awesome. So just to finish, Danielle, so this has been so helpful because you have simplified things for the audience in a very elegant and eloquent way in your share. Tell us a little bit to finish off with, like, how are you working with clients now? Because when you first came to me, you were working mostly in interior design. Tell us a bit about what you offer nowadays.
Well, now I just offer the one-on-one discovery of that inside world. And so many people can come for design if they're unaware as to what avenue to go. But this is really about the divine design that's within everyone, where all their clarity, all their style, all their confidence, all the answers to every area of their life that they are focused on, that they want to really blend that now and what they're wanting to achieve in a more easy, effortless, enjoyable way. And so through my own personal experience of being a designer, it was always this inner world that I was tapping into. And so no matter what title anyone else has, this is the only source that people are using to get to where they want to be. And I think that is the focus that is most essential to empower people and to remember where it all comes from. And so whether it's an environment that they want to improve or a relationship, I'm here to help in that harmony of blending the two together.
Fabulous. I love that. I love the clarity that you have about what you're up to in the world. I think it's awesome. And I'm a massive fan of divine design. So ladies, you got to check this out with Danielle. Danielle, where can people find you?
Yeah, they can find me on Instagram at Divine Design Living. It's divine_design_living. And I have a website there with just more about me, you know, currently. Of course, I'm not going to list my past, but currently what I'm focusing on, that's Divine Design Living .onuniverse.com. You can find me there. And yeah, I share what I feel in the moment, what things are really percolating for me currently, and I'm available for people who want to joyfully co-create. I love to emphasize that because I think it should be fun. There's nothing wrong going on here. Nothing needs to be fixed in the sense of nothing serious is really going on. when you start to understand this. And it should be fun. It should be a beautiful unfolding to what you've always known and remembered as a young child, and always have felt to be true. And so it's really about, let's tap into that together, and empower yourself again to know that, because I can't, and you can't be there for everybody else 24/7. The only thing you can do as a coach or as a teacher, as anything, is to really remind people that it should be fun, it should be easy, and it's all within. And let's do this. Let's have fun, basically. Let's do this together.
I love that. Okay, wonderful, Danielle. It's been so good to have you on. Ladies, go check out Danielle and take her up on a potential consultation as well if you are someone who is looking in the direction of a divine design in your life. I certainly don't promo a lot of different, let's say, modalities out there, but I really do find that what Danielle is sharing and what some of the other speakers that I have interviewed lately are sharing is very much in alignment with the principles that underlie every experience in life. And so the fact that this discussion is centered on not looking at a problem, but looking at a direction of solution is very heartwarming. And the more that people are looking in that direction, the more the world is healed, in my opinion, and the manifestations come true. So thank you again, Danielle, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too, Grace. Thank you for having me.
Ciao. Bye.
Bye.